Just a spectacular afternoon for football here in the Tar Heel state of North Carolina as EA Sports welcomes you inside Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. Taken in at the 3. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down. He was locked in last week, NFC Offensive Player of the Week in Week 2.
Clear some space in the trophy room. He won it last week. He's thinking he's going to get a few more before this season is over, maybe even starting with this game.
Second down and right back to McCaffrey. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1.
Hey, alert!
They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And some room to roam now. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Carolina.
Earlier in the week when they had their scouting report meeting, this was the explosiveness that they talked about trying to contain. They were concerned about it all week, yet he still did it to them. Wonder how that's going to carry over the rest of the game.
Gonzalez good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. Certainly not what they wanted there, so the football by rule comes out to the 40. Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at the 40. Coming left is Kamara. And slow going there as he'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41. Well, this defense for the Panthers very strong last week as they helped their squad improve to 2-0 on the young season.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13. Jameis to throw it. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that is incomplete.
Nice job there forcing that incompletion. This is going to be a fun battle throughout this game. Watching him try to take away that area of the field.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Winston. That's out to Hill. Right side complete. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
And Brandon, as you know, sometimes it's a lot tougher to run with these tight ends nowadays in the NFL than just bigger wide receivers. He lined up on the left side of formation, ran a drag route across the field, and tried to work his way open. He was able to make the catch, but the defenders were there, couldn't do a whole lot with it afterwards.
And he's just going to be short here, barely, maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. And he's going to have his running back. It's complete. And he is going to have the Saints first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter one. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara, and he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back there and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on third down. On the counter, here's Kamara. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up fourth down. Will Lutz now to try the New Orleans field goal. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. The kick by Lutz is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go. Now, early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice. But at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Now the first carry for Darrington Evans. 7 yards there and a first down. The Panthers hit 2-0 here to begin the season, and they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Play fake. Mayfield. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tartt. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Ready? Even.
Tries the left side and finds Olave. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. From the 39-yard line, here comes second down and 6. Winston to give. It's Kamara. And he's got Rome. Touchdown, New Orleans. And that one heck of a run right there. Once he got loose, you could tell that he was going to run a long way. That was pretty impressive.
And first and foremost, this is all about vision. He can see the play developing right in front of him. And once he's past the line of scrimmage and got a full head of steam behind him, he's just going to keep right on going.
And according to Next Gen Stats, his top speed on that one, better than 20 miles an hour. Taken in at the 3. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete. 10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Mayfield. He's going to rifle one deep left side. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu.
So rare to see any quarterback toss back-to-back interceptions in the NFL, regardless of status or experience. Whether it's him personally or just the offensive game plan, I think this defense is reading something out there, and they're holding the upper hand.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime. If you're a good football team, you spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments to prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain defenses, and this clearly was the wrong one to run into. Really nice job getting him down behind the line of scrimmage.
And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Off the play fake, Winston. Looking long for Thomas. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Blake Gillikin on to punt now on 4th down. Christian McCaffrey deep for Carolina. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Panthers will take over now, 1st and 10. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together.
And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Carolina. And with his speed, if he just finds the slightest crease, he can take it the distance like he did there.
How about the leverage up front? Offensive line out-leveraging the defensive front to create that space, that crease that he was looking for. And once he hits open field, he's going to be very difficult to catch and corral.
The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
74 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half. A first down throw for Winston. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
A second down throw for Winston. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. He was looking to get it to Jarvis Landry that time. It's third down. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
Play fake. Winston. He's got a man. Complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Jameis again. Flushed out right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
On play action, Winston. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Dante Jackson picks it, and the Panthers are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Mayfield off the play fake. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Following the sack, Mayfield and the Panthers staring at a 3rd and long here. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
On is the punter, Hecker, as he gets this one away. Landry now on the return. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Saints still have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10. Quick throw to Olave. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42. On second down, Kamara. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be third down.
You don't see that a ton, do you? The quarterback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Fourth down, Winston. That's to his running back, complete.
And he is going to have the Saints first down as they find a way to convert on 4th and 10.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
And those linemen, of course, can't be more than a yard downfield when a pass is thrown, and they might have been able to call that on a couple of guys there. Play action now, Winston.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. The 10th carry for Kamara. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. To throw, Winston. Looking for Thomas, but that's intercepted.
Brandon Smith picks it off. And the Panthers are going to take over at their own 41.
He's on quite the interception run. He had 2 last week, another one here. Remember, he's not a DB, he's a linebacker.
But how many of those linebackers started as DBs and pumped themselves up into being linebackers? So the ball skills are the same, right? The coverage skills and responsibilities are the same, and he is paying it off in a big, big way.
This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go.
They'll start in excellent field position following the INT.
They start on the ground with McCaffrey.
92 yards rushing for him now to this point.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Mayfield now from the 50. He's going to air one out for Anderson. And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Panthers. Robbie Anderson His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Panthers will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT, and that makes it a 21-10 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This one fielded at the 5. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Olave holds it in. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. That's Olave bringing in another one. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. They'll get this out to Kamara.
And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. Again, it's Winston. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time.
Picked off by J.C. Horn. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half.
So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Saints going to go on offense first, and they trail here as we begin quarter number 3. And from the end zone, Deontay Hardy will bring it out. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. All in all, pretty manageable deficit, Charles, here as they start this 3rd quarter offensively when you consider the fact that in the first 2 quarters, they had 2 costly turnovers.
I think you laid it out there perfectly, partner. Very tough to hold a lead going into the break if you continue to hand it over on multiple drives.
Yeah, and obviously, Charles, it would be very tough to climb back into the game if those turnovers continue.
I would say borderline impossible. You keep turning it over, I don't know how you make up a deficit.
And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Again, it's Kamara.
And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33.
But now they're in a spot that every team tells us when we have our production meetings they don't want to be in 3rd and long. And that's because those back-to-back running plays just didn't accomplish a whole lot.
And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. To throw is Winston. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
The goal is certainly to try and make a big play happen and climb back into this game, but you have to be careful. If you overdo it, you could turn it over and hurt your team.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. The Panthers are going to take another timeout. It's going to leave him with just one timeout remaining still in the third quarter. We'll see if that comes back to haunt him. We'll be back. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. That's taken on the 25. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially.
And it will be the Panthers' ball, 1st and 10.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. On first down, this is McCaffrey. 98 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Let's go.
A handoff left, McCaffrey. And some space here. And he's going to take this all the way down to the Saints' 17-yard line. A big play there from McCaffrey. 47 yards on the ground.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football. Sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he's able to get this inside the 10 now to the 9. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina.
D'Onta Foreman.
His first touchdown here of the new campaign, as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Gonzalez good on the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
On 1st and 10, Winston. His throw incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
Kamara try the right side. And he's going to get this pretty close to a first down. Stopped at the Panthers' 38. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Boy, what would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. They go play action. Winston. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And I do believe this is going to wind up a safety. It is. It's a safety. How about that for a wacky play? Wow, what a disaster. You talk about a guy making a good play on the interception and then just trying to be too cute on the return.
It almost felt like his own gyroscope really got out of whack, didn't it? Going backwards into your own end zone after such a great play. Totally disoriented and gave up 2 points for his team.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in the second half.
Following the penalty, it's Kamara.
118 yards on the ground for him so far.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
And my goodness, another interception. Dante Jackson picks it. And a terrific return as he takes this thing all the way down near the 20-yard line.
Well, there's two sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough, but man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard, but also you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game.
Touchdown! Robbie Anderson. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far.
And the Panthers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT, and that pushes the lead up to 23. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason, the ball is out. Kamara fumbled it.
And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
So holding on the offense, they go ahead and decline the penalty, and the ball will change hands on the fumble recovery. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. There's Trumbo, the tight end. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
On 2nd and 10, Mayfield. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. There he goes, right side. 30, past the 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
I think this is where you have to have the term situational football in your head, because this game is pretty much in the palm of your hand, and the one thing you can't afford to do, turn the ball over. Now you've given the patient a little bit of a heartbeat, haven't you? And now they're feeling it, and they're back in this game.
Yeah, still a little bit of a lead, but that makes things more interesting. We're still just in the 3rd quarter here. And it looks like the Panthers' hands team does its job. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, It was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. A big play there for Carolina. 44 yards.
They started this drive with terrific field position, and it's going to get even better after that play. Had great options with where they started, so they decided to press their advantage, and it paid off.
It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Mayfield looks to throw. And it'll be caught in the end zone for the Carolina touchdown by DJ Moore. 2 yards on the touchdown there. And the Panthers are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. Gonzalez good on the extra point. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. From the 6. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out?
And now here's another interception. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Panthers are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. Well, all I can do up here is just shake my head. I mean, 6 interceptions. I cannot imagine what he's thinking between the ears right now.
Well, just think of how it is for his teammates, because after the first few, you know they're going over to him, hey, we'll get him next time. Now they're probably a little bit frustrated. And if you're a receiver, you're thinking to yourself, any ball that's in the air, you become receiver and defensive back. You've got to go compete for the ball so that you don't get another one picked off.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. McCaffrey following the penalty. And he'll get this across the 40 and up to about the 42-yard line. David Onyemata there on the tackle. Throwing on 2nd and long. Mayfield. Throw left side. McCaffrey's got it. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. Well, clear running situation, trying to take time off the clock. He ran the previous play, set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they had shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit him over the top.
And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll go down at the 28. 7 yards there and a 1st down. Right back to Hubbard. And he'll be taken down just shy of the red zone at the 21. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, Nice hole for him. Ends up picking up nice yardage. Stays in bounds and keep the clock rolling. They're in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. They'll run here with Hubbard. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Chuba Hubbard, his first rushing touchdown of the year. And the Panthers are closing in on a third straight victory to start the campaign. Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. From the 6. And able to get this out to the 25. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
On third down, Winston. Quick slant, that's caught by the 5'11" Landry. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. Winston now from the 50. And boy, another ill-advised throw there as that will wind up incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Jameis to throw it. And my goodness, another interception. Now he's hit on the return. It's a loose football. And I think they are going to get this one back. Well, that would have been something. Double turnovers. But instead, they'll keep the possession on the INT. And that should just about do it. They return it to the end zone, sealing it with a defensive touchdown. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play it straight, do all the right things. But these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
They'll run for it. It's Hubbard. Room here to run. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Gonzalez to add the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. Now a hit and a loose football. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy. because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Winston. He's going to let it fly. And this will be incomplete. Oh, can you believe this? That one probably should have been picked too. Instead, it's 4th down.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Panthers are going to get it back in excellent field position. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Well, the lead late in the 4th, but Mayfield's going to throw it. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. For these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. So this one is over. A victory for Carolina. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
Well, without question, when you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with each other and being in a position where going forward, all you think about is, let's get 5 next time. They're going to be on the hunt.
So for the Panthers, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Arizona Cardinals next week. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll get a home date next week against the Minnesota Vikings.